Welcome back to an educational episode of the Myth Busting Locksmith. Now today we are busting the myth on the rip-off merchants, the costing and the pricing for hiring a locksmith. We have a sheet that we will go through later with points on that I will literally cross out one by one as we go. So you may want a notepad and pencil before we start. Now the reason for making this video is I want to bust the myth on the costing and the pricing and people getting ripped off. I was recently called to a job where somebody was charged over £600 for a most basic job which should have cost less than £200. I got called to a second job a couple of days ago where somebody simply had access gained to their building and they had a cylinder replaced, and their concern was that the locksmith had actually taken away the key. Now in that circumstance they said that the person brought a small toolbox with them, broke into the house and changed the cylinder. They didn't try to pick it or bump it or bypass it, they didn't even have the tools. So what you are looking at is a horrendous amount of cowboys out there who are ripping people off. They're known to the police, the same name pops up day after day after day, and yet they are not being stopped. When I started as a locksmith 3.5, 4 years ago, I registered with a professional locksmith body who I'm not allowed to name for marketing and advertising. I had enhanced CRB and DBS clearances, I had MOD and SC clearances, I had 2 written references and 6 months of investigation, even to allow to do the training. I completed 5 courses, and then I went on to do a further 2 courses of more specialised lock picking, and then when I wanted to complete the other 5 courses that I've now done, I had to get more written references and more investigations. I registered with an accountant, I got our business registered as a locksmith business, and I had government clearances, police clearances, CRB, enhanced DBS and CRB clearances, so everyone knows who I am, where I am and what I do. So before you keyboard warriors jump on and start saying, oh, he's telling everybody everything's cheaper than it is, or he's undercutting everybody else or underpricing it and he's going to bring the industry down, I am regulated, I am registered, I am monitored, I am stopping people getting ripped off, and if you don't like it, so be it. So first of all, before I forget, gearboxes and gear strips. There is a general price that gearboxes and gear strips as a pair cost around 120 to £150 each. Normally around 150, 160 to fit, so you're looking at a bill about 300. That's the industry standard, that's what you can expect. Call-out charges normally range from £75 to £120, depending if you're in London or the outskirts and if it's unsociable hours. 120 for out of hours, and London 75 to 90 to 100 is your normal. The reason I say this is because I got called to one job where somebody was charged hundreds of pounds because it was unsociable hours, and they got charged on top for labour, and they got charged a ridiculous amount for locks. Google is your friend, and I will come back to it with a list. Google is your friend, Amazon is your friend. Research on the internet what locks cost, what locks you need, where they are, how much they are, and what the difference is, because the prices that people are charging is ridiculous, and we are busting that myth today. So the second job I got called to, they had somebody turn up, they broke into the house, they didn't attempt to bump, pick, bypass the lock in any way, shape or form. They literally turned up with a toolbox, gained the entry destructively, and then they charged a ridiculous amount for the cylinder. So a bill that was nearly £1,000 for gaining entry to the house, changing a lock and supplying a lock. They charged one fee for a call out, another fee because it was unsociable, another fee for labour, another fee for a cylinder, and another fee for fitting it. Absolutely insane. And then the person was concerned that the supposed locksmith had actually taken the key away with them, so I was called out. I went round there at 7:30 in the evening, charged them 90 quid for the call out and the first hour of labour. I charged them £46 for a 3-star cylinder. Their total bill was what, £135, £140. I was there for 10 minutes, that was it. So, without further ado, and this is where you want to have your pen and pencil ready before we get to our list. This is a 2M Security branded, 1-star, fairly standard key cylinder. We sell these at £35 each. There is a similar one that is not the same brand, £17.99 on Amazon for a key 35 by 35 Euro cylinder. Ours are branded with our logo, comes with 3 keys, £35. For one of these, you can expect to pay between £17 and £40. Thumb turns are always more expensive, but this is a fairly bog standard, well made, heavy duty lock, nothing fancy. The next one, and I've left it in the box, is a Brisant D made by Ultion, and we are an approved supplier of Ultion locks and associated merchandise and hardware. Putting aside thumb turn for a minute, it is a dimple lock. The key looks like this. This is a 1-star. This is heavy, it's beautifully made. This is a thumb turn version. Little anti-snap bit at the front. This is an excellent lock. And off the top of my head, I would say this is around £40 to £45. Don't quote me on that. I will give you exact prices if you ask me. It comes with 2 screws, 3 keys. British standard kite mark, 1-star cylinder. Very good for most of your needs. So we're around the 35, 40, 45 pound mark so far. Okay, just to remind you, somebody got charged over £400 for a £17 cylinder on a recent job, and they thought they took away the keys. This is why we are emphasising the standard and the point so much. Now, this is a Yale. This is a British standard kite mark, very important note to make. 1-star cylinder. It's bigger, it's heavy, it has the anti-snap at the front, it's very chunky. I think I was selling these at around £55 each, but Google it. If you find it cheaper, absolutely fine. Find it cheaper somewhere else or ask me and I may even price match. No stars, 1-star, 1-star. This is also a 1-star. This is Apex. I'm not sure the price offhand, but it has the anti-snap on both sides, so it can go either way. And this is good because if you have a longer side one side and a shorter side the other way, you can put it whichever way is suitable. These are 1-star, again, British standard kite mark. 5-year guarantee on the box, made by Apex. I've recently bought a massive batch of these. I love them, they're heavy, they're very well made, they're very nice locks indeed. Not expensive. Still under your £50 mark. Ultion 1-star. I'll leave this in the box, I believe it's a thumb turn. This, again, is now Ultion, so you're going up the grade, so you're looking at £45, £50 plus. In fact, just take it out of the box for you. This is, again, a very well made, very heavy duty Ultion lock, 1-star, British kite mark. Anti-snap, molybdenum core, heavy duty. Comes with, there we are, comes with 3 keys. They are coded keys, so once you register your name, address, email number and your key code, you get the £2,000 guarantee, which means if it is fitted correctly and well and everything is as it should be, and the lock fails you and you get broken into, you get £2,000 back straight off the bat, and your house insurance is not affected in a negative way. This is a 1-star lock, so you would require 2-star handles. It is an excellent lock from an excellent company. They are very heavy duty and I really like them. Do bear in mind, you can have a 3-star cylinder, standard handles. You can have a 1-star lock, but you will need 2-star handles. So 1-star, 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 1-star. These will all require, these will all require a 2-star handle to get your 3-star rating. Now, coming on to thumb turns, as I said, they are always slightly more expensive. This is UAP. It has your little anti-snap cut in the front. It's a fairly standard lock. It's a thumb turn. It's heavy. It's nicely made. Not expensive. Garrison. These are one of my favourites, I have to say. This style is a dimple key, and it's a dimple lock. It's a thumb turn. It's beautifully made. These retail, just if you want the notes, from £52 to £79, and then there are higher grades going up to about £120, was the most expensive I found in the Garrison family. This is a 1-star cylinder, so the 3-star will be slightly more expensive. Very well made locks, very solid. I highly recommend these. But as I say, £52 to £79, up to about £150. This is a 1-star thumb turn. You look at key cylinders, you look at 3-star, and that's where the prices go up. But still, we're under £200. Next one for you, ERA 3-star British Standard Kite Mark, thumb turn, anti-snap, other little security elements, nice solid core. This is a very heavy duty lock. I have seen these used as a standard lock in flats that start at £450,000 going up in London. It's a vertical keyway. They are heavy duty, they are a very nice lock. I really like these and I have got a big batch of these. Not entirely sure how much I charge, but probably around £40–45. Again, you are nowhere near the £100 mark. You can see where we're going with this. Next is the other set, ATK Attack Series. Keys, very prominent, look like this. This is a 3-star lock, vertical keyway, anti-snap on the external. This is a key cylinder. They also do a thumb turn version, and they also do the ABS and other versions of them. Now, these are more expensive. These start at around £55–60, and they can go up to anything to about 90, depending on the size of the lock, depending on the thumb turn, depending if it's an ABS, and there's a whole series of other set locks. I very highly recommend them. They're beautifully made and they are solid. Very good locks. You're still looking at under £100, verging towards the £100 mark, depending what you're looking at. This, again, is a 3-star British Kite Mark standard lock. I'll think of the brand in a minute. I believe this is TSS, but metal cam in the middle, very good quality. No anti-snap element, but it is a 3-star cylinder. So it is a, oh sorry, the little anti-snap bit is here. So anti-snap here, 3-star cylinder, British standard Kite Mark. Excellent lock. I have no idea how much I charge for these, but I've got a big batch of them. Again, a very good quality lock, under £100. So locksmiths coming up to you and going, yeah, it's going to be £120 for a cylinder, tell them to go away. If they're going to charge you more than £120 max for turning up and the first hour, consider sending them away. And this is where I'm going to get keyboard warriors telling me off and having a go. I charge £90 an hour, call out fee and the first hour, Monday to Sunday, 24 hours a day, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter where, within a 45-minute circle. Outside of that 45-minute travel time, there is a supplemental for petrol. But if you went for this and we charge you 45 quid and it's 90 quid to turn up, you're looking at a £135 bill. That's it, all in, come, do the job, go home, job done. It takes one screw. Screw out, cylinder out. New cylinder in, screw in, job done. Even if I have to take the escutcheons off, it's a 5-minute job. It should not cost £200, £300, £400, £500 for something like that. It should not cost you more than £300 to fit a gearbox. I am reiterating these points because the amount of people I have come up against who have been charged £200, £300, £400, £500, £1,000 for a simple job is ridiculous, and we need to bust this myth. These are not horrendously expensive. 35-ish, 40-ish, 40 to 50, around 45, 50, potentially 60 at worst. These ones are going to be 45 to 60. I can't see much more than that. If you have a different type of lock, this is our own 2M Security branded TSS made rim cylinder. These are around 30 to 35 pounds. Most people call them Yale locks because Yale used to make these and saturated the market. Yale are excellent company, so most people wouldn't call these rim cylinders, they call them Yales. They vary 35 to about £50, possibly 60 to push. I've got them with the dimple style key, which would take a key similar to this and would have a keyway similar to this. Obviously this is a Garrison, but I have Brisant, so these people, I have the Brisant dimple rim cylinder, I have the Ultian, same as these people, rim cylinder, and I have the Ultian WXM. So you could get this, you could get a 3-star version of the WXM in a rim cylinder for a higher security one of these. Again, it's not going to cost you more than £60. If you're looking at more than that, you need to start asking questions. Right. Okay, so what have we covered? We covered, I think, most things. Right, as a quick random one, hadn't planned it. These cost between probably £25 and £50 each. There are hundreds of different types on the market. You've got all different security levels. You get them in 55 mil, 60 mil, 62 and 76 that I can think off the top of my head. This happens to be an ERA. There are hundreds of companies. They're all basically a standard mortise lock. There we are, mortise lock with a bolt. Different security settings, different size bolts. Some have a sash at the top where you turn the handle, little part comes in and then goes when you release the handle. They all vary. They're not expensive. Go to Homebase, go to Amazon, go to Google, go to B&Q, go to your local hardware store, have a look at all the different types, have a look at the prices before you get hit with somebody charging you £120 to turn up, another £150 to fit it, another £200 for one of these for a £60 lock. It's infuriating. It has got to stop. I'm getting quite passionate about this. Right, the list of questions. So here is the advice that I would give to you when you move into a new house, when you change address, or when you think, I've seen this video, it's a good idea, I'm going to do that. The first thing you want to do after watching this video today is go onto Google and look at locksmiths in your area. You will find a lot of them say, oh yes, see, I'm based in, well, a small town in Surrey, I'm based in Egham, so I Googled Egham locksmiths, and a whole list came up. So Google locksmiths in your area, and call them to ask them various questions, but we'll come back to that in a second. When you look at locksmiths in your area, see if they have an address in your area. See if you can go down. I found 2 in Egham that were registered in Egham. One is actually on an industrial estate and is there. You can visit him and you can ask him questions that we are going to cover. Another one was based in London. Well, how can you be a local Egham locksmith if you're based in London? I'm based in London when I work, but I also live in Egham. I'm based in Egham, I live in Egham, I will come to London if you need me. But the one that said they were based in Egham was a local Egham locksmith, didn't live in Egham, didn't have premises in Egham, covers the Egham area, but he probably does that through a call centre of somebody answering a phone in London, covering 50 different areas and telling them that we're local to 50 different areas. So you're not getting the person you called. You call me, you get me. Or you will get me and I will send somebody out. I have 4 people on the books. You're going to get 1 of 4 of us. You're not going to get some random call centre or Bob the Builder up the road who's going to come because you called me. I said I'm local to your area. You know, that's where the rip-off starts. So, call the people and ask them where they are based, if you can visit their premises, see where they are, go and knock on the door, see if they're in. Then ask them, what is their hourly rate? What does it entail? My hourly rate is £90, Monday to Sunday, 24 hours a day, doesn't matter when. It is the same rate all the way through, and that is the first hour is included. So I will turn up to your door, I will work for an hour. If it takes me 3 seconds to get into your house because you've locked yourself out, £90. If it takes me 58 minutes to get into your house, £90. If it takes me 55 minutes to get into your house and another 20 minutes, so you're an hour and 15 minutes in, and you need your cylinder changing, then I'm not going to worry about the 15 minutes. You're going to get the cost of the cylinder plus the £90 labour and the turning up as one charge. Call out charge. Ask them if the call out charge is separate. As I've covered, my call out is on the first hour. Ask them if it's the call out charge, what do you charge on top? Because some people will charge you 85 quid to turn up plus more money on top. For the labour, so that's where you're going to start getting ripped off if they're going to screw you out of money by charging you 100 quid to turn up and another 300 quid for the job. This is where you need to watch. Ask them, is the emergency call out different? Do you charge out of hours after 11 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning on Sundays? Is it different? Because some places will charge you, say, 75 to £90 Monday to Friday. They might charge you a much higher rate at weekends. You need to know this in advance. You need to call your locksmith before you need a locksmith so that you can get all the information. So when it comes to needing a locksmith, that's his number, that's his name, that's his area, these are his rates, this is what I should expect, because you have asked these questions in advance. Ask about his range of locks. I've probably got 20 different types of locks from £35 to £120. Don't mind which one you have. You can have a £35 cylinder in your door. I live in a teeny tiny flat in a quiet area. I have a £15 rim cylinder in my door. I know people that live in a £500,000 house, they have a £120 cylinder in their door. I went up to London, they're living in a £450,000 flat. They have a, what, £50 cylinder in their door, but it's a 3-star cylinder. They have a concierge downstairs. They have an external door you have to get in before you get to their front door. It's the lock is a very high grade. It's anti-snap, it's anti-bump, it's anti-pick. It is sufficient for their needs. Make sure your lock is sufficient for your needs. Fitting, as we said, is the fitting a separate cost? Because if you've called them and they've charged you for a call out and they're charging you a labour charge, what does a labour charge include if it doesn't include fitting your lock? The labour charge is what they're doing. It should not be separate. And I'm saying this because I have seen bills, call out charge, labour charge, fitting charge. This is where they're going to rip you off. I'm being passionate about this because I seem to be making a lot of money over rectifying the problems that other people have had because they've been ripped off, done a shoddy job, been sold poor or badly made, badly fitted equipment, and I've had to go and rescue them. But yes, check and visit the address. We came to that. Make sure they're local. If they say they're local, make sure they are local. If they're registered in your high street, go down. I went down to 168 Egham High Street to see my local locksmith, based and registered on Google as living and working in Egham. They're not there. It's an advertising company or some other thing. They haven't been there since about 2012. So I won't be recommending them. Is it where it says it is? Well, clearly not in this case. Here's another one for you. In advance, choose your 2 best friends and get together with them and say, we are going to create a triangle of friends. So if I get to my door and I'm locked out, or there's an emergency, my lock fails, or I need to call a locksmith, I'm going to call my best friend number 1 first and ask for help. Say, I'm locked out, I need help. Even if it's to calm me down, keep me company, or look for somebody on my behalf, or go, I've looked at this locksmith, he's charging X amount of money, what do you think? That person's not available, ask best friend number 2. Call your 2 best friends and agree with them in advance that if any one of you gets stuck, you're going to call them first and go, best friend number 1, if you're not available, best friend number 2, I need advice. What do I do? Who do I call? If I call this person, he's charging that. Is that a fair price? What do you think? Have a circle of 2 people to make a triangle that you can call to ask their advice to see what they think, even if they're going to come down and watch the person working with you as a backup plan for your own security and safety. They can offer you support, they can offer you advice, and they will soon scare the criminals away. I went to fit a lock, I had 3 people watching me, not a problem. They all asked me questions, not a problem. Make sure you have a backup plan, somebody with you who can help you just to watch them what they're doing. Say, what are you doing here? While the person who is nervous because they're locked out or they feel vulnerable or they're stuck is being nervous. Right, we changed also. Yes, we covered that one for you. 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 So the last piece of advice, never panic. If you find yourself stuck and in need of help or a locksmith, never panic, never rush, never go straight onto Google because you should have looked in advance for what locksmiths you have. So don't panic, don't rush into something. Take a breath, call your friend, look on Google. There's 100 different numbers on Google. Which one do I call? Hello, you're a locksmith. Are you registered to a professional locksmith body or an association? No, put the phone down. What is your call out fee? Over 120 quid. Put the phone down. Does your call-out charge include the first hour of labour? No. Potentially, put the phone down. Make sure you're not panicking and you're not rushing and you are investigating A and B. What do they charge? What do they do? How long will they be? Are you coming to my area? How long will you be in my area? And at the end of the day, and the final point of a video that was going to be shorter but appears to be longer, if you are that concerned or that vulnerable or you feel that unsafe, simply call 999. The police, the fire brigade will both have locksmiths and people they trust to call out on their books. And you just simply say, I am locked out, I need a locksmith, can you help because I'm scared of being ripped off or made unsafe by somebody I don't know. If in doubt, call the police, call the fire brigade. I'm stuck, I need to get in my house. Or if even you're in your house, because I have been in a situation where somebody's been in a flat and they've had a key cylinder in their door. And the trouble with a key cylinder is you lock your door from inside. There we are, my door is locked. I put the keys away, I go to bed, there's a fire and emergency at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't get out my front door. That is why flats should always have a thumb turn. So when you go at 3 o'clock in the morning because you need to get out in an emergency, you have a thumb turn to get you out the building. Another point just to note. So at worst, and my final point on this, is call 999 and say, I feel vulnerable, I'm locked out my house, or there's some problem with my door, I need to gain access, or I need to get out. I don't know any locksmiths, I don't want to call somebody to rip me off, can you help? The police and the fire brigade have an obligation as government paid services to come and help you. And if the police go, no, we can't help, just Google a locksmith and get out, call the fire brigade, because it is fire and rescue by a parliamentary act going back to the 1800s that says they, by law, are a rescue service and they have to come and rescue you, or they will get a locksmith who they know to come to rescue you. And once they've got you out the house, if you're ripped off or they're charging you some extortionate amount of money, you always have somebody to go back to, the fire brigade or the police, and say the fire brigade recommended these, they charge you 600 quid, I want some sort of investigation as to why. Sorry it's longer than I thought, I really hope this helps. I am trying to bust the myth on the pricing here, but a £603 job, I charged him I actually charged him £75 for labour, £22.50 for handles, so whatever that works out as, that's how much you charge him. A job costing nearly £1,000, I pulled a £17 rim cylinder out of a door, I put a £46 rim cylinder in the door, I charge him £90 for labour, I charge him £46 for the cylinder. You can do the maths, it ain't £1,000. Don't get ripped off, follow the list, find your locksmith in advance, make your friends triangle for emergencies in advance, do your research, make your phone calls, ask your questions, stay safe. Any questions, any queries, call me, text me, WhatsApp me, email me, leave comments below, just let me know. I would happily answer 1,000 questions for somebody, and then you take that information and go and help someone else, than have to get called to a house at 11 o'clock at night to change a £17 on Amazon advertised cylinder that cost them £17 and cost a customer nearly £400 or £500. I would rather you took the information I gave you and went somewhere else and did it for free than me have to come and do this and stand there and watch you in tears when I said no, a £1,000 bill should have cost you 150. Thanks for watching, see you next time.